He's the good serial killer because he doesn't want to kill me. Cool. That is so cool. I really was craving egg mode. What excellent boiled potatoes. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma. How are you doing? Kelsifer, my cat, has destroyed not one, not two, no, just two actually, of my headbands. So now I'm stuck wearing this like half towel wrap thing that I sometimes use to dry parts of my hair as a headband. I'm in the market for a new headband. Welcome to this week. This week is going to be a lot of lifestyle things, I think, and hopefully you guys don't mind because I love having more lifestyle-y vlogs. I have, I think, a couple hauls to do in this vlog because I didn't really mention it in last week's vlog with Interview with the Vampire because I was just so focused on that book getting me through the week. But I did visit home. I did go and visit my family for literally 2 days last week now, which was really nice. But it is, sometimes it just feels harder to visit them and then leave them than it is just not to visit them at all, if that makes sense. Like the dull ache compared to the fresh stab wound. My grandma and my mom and I did go thrifting together. We love going to thrift stores together. That usually makes up our only one significant shopping outing with each other. And I did get 2 pieces and a couple books, which was not super good of me, but they were $2 each. But I'm gonna be filming a book haul, so I want to show you the clothing items that I got from there. It's that time on my channel where I give you a super random, it's always comes out of nowhere, skincare slash beauty section of the video that happens like once every 2 months because I got a package from Sephora as well. I did actually order one more thing last night because I meant to do it together, but I totally forgot that I ran out of my face wash. So this was probably literally one of the last updates I did with you guys. I've been trying so many of the things that you either like put in the comments or DM me on Instagram because it's just thank you essentially. So I finished the whole bottle of the Simple face wash, the Kind to Skin moisturizing facial wash, and this was just okay. Like it didn't, you know, do anything super bad to my skin. I also just did my nails and I'm so obsessed with this color. I got a gel nail kit like 2 years ago now and I've never tried out this color, but I love this mint green. Anyway, so I used this whole bottle and like I was saying, it was just okay. Like it didn't do anything revolutionary for me, but it was definitely just a nice facial wash. I also got their micellar water and I really don't like the micellar water, but this was just like overall okay. The micellar water makes my skin really sticky and oily. I don't think it's supposed to do that. I don't know. And I did order a different face wash to try last night, but that's not here yet. But this is here, so I'm gonna open this. Welcome to the start of the week. It's Monday. I'm finally starting the vlog off on a Monday. Having a really good start to the week. I'm in a fantastic mood, which I'm trying to take advantage of. I got 2 new products to try. I think I got the smallest size available because these are kind of expensive and I just wanted to give them a little go. So I got 2 of the Briogeo. It's definitely not Briogeo. It's got to be Briogeo, you know. The shampoo, is this one the shampoo? No, this is the shampoo, and then I got the deep conditioning mask. Recently I just have had like no idea what to do with my hair. It's changed a little bit since moving to the big city. I find it just gets grosser faster essentially since moving here, and I wanted to try something new. So then I got the Scalp Revival shampoo, the charcoal and coconut oil micro exfoliating shampoo, which I wanted to give a go to because I've heard really good things. And then I also got the conditioning mask, Don't Despair Repair. I really do need to go get a haircut. I haven't been to a hair salon since before the pandemic. I've just been cutting my hair myself or getting my mom to do it when I go home, partly because I don't really want to go to a hair salon, but honestly the reason I don't want to go to a hair salon is because I have a lot of anxiety around people touching my head after my whole concussion thing. So I'm just really, I don't think I'm ready for it yet. This one has rosehip, sweet almond, and argan oils with vitamin B5 and biotin to revitalize dry, damaged hair. I'll let you know how these go. They're also just really pretty. It's currently 3:16. This morning I have been rearranging the apartment and getting stuff ready because tomorrow I have to take Kelsifer to the vet in the morning because he is finally getting fixed. They scheduled his appointment and I'm taking him tomorrow, so I had to like put his cat tree away, put like try to make the apartment someplace that he doesn't want to jump or climb onto things, because he's not really allowed to do that for a while after his surgery. So should be interesting. It's gonna definitely be a very like monitoring him heavy 10 days, because they said don't let him run or jump. How you're supposed to make a cat not run or jump, I don't know, but I'm gonna try my best. Good evening. Hi, so I just finished a book on my Kindle. I haven't read a book on my Kindle in months, so that feels really good, but I kind of hated the book. I've already seen my October TBR, or oh my god, November, but I read There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark, which is I really don't want to call it a romance, because it was just kind of like, what the hell am I reading? It's about two serial killers fighting over this one girl. Like, one of them wants to kill her and the other one like loves her. It ended up being really boring, really cringy, and I honestly just wanted the two dude serial killers to get together. I think that would have made such a more interesting story than what it ended up being. So I also didn't know it was a series, but like as I kept reading and reading, it really felt like, oh my gosh, she's gonna continue this into a series, because there's hardly any character development, not that much happened. The romance was really just not developed between the two. The whole situation was basically just like, he's the good serial killer because he doesn't want to kill me. Like, that's where the bar was. Like, she was thanking him for not wanting him to end her life. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Do you have other reading updates? So I have two books I'm currently reading. The first one is Heaven and Hell. Oh, I did make progress on this since I last updated you. I'm on page 102. Really, really good. I cannot wait to read you some of the quotes that I tabbed. I'll probably do that a bit later. This is really good. I'm just finding it a little bit slow to get through, because it is quite like a heavy, like this book is like a heart's a heavy burden, but in like book form. And yeah, so really outstanding, exquisite. Really interesting writing style. And the audiobook I'm currently listening to is Cleopatra by Stacy Schiff. This is also on my November TBR. Really, 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 really loving this. This is so good. I am 38 pages through and the writing is so good. Like, I love when a passion for like a topic, in this case a historical topic, ignites with gorgeous writing and a way to really pull your audience in about your topic. So right now what I'm gonna do is start Dombey and Son by Charles Dickens. I actually need to text Carolyn first and tell her that I am starting this because I need emotional, not even emotional support, I just need like support because I don't want to read this alone. Okay, I'm gonna take a picture of you too. So what I'm gonna do is divide the number of pages by the number of days in November and December, subtracting 7 because today's the 7th, and there are 925 pages. 925 pages. 925 divided by 54 is 17 pages a day, which really isn't that bad. So I'm gonna start reading this right now to get those 17 pages worked on, and then I'm gonna be heading out in a little bit. Hopefully I can get these pages done first because we need to go out and buy a new kettle and a new coffee maker. When it rains, it pours, I swear. So why a new kettle? Kelsifer broke ours is the theme for this week. He was just playing, he was messing around, we were playing together, and he jumped on the counter, but on the way up, like his foot hit the kettle, and the kettle's like stored in a cubby, not on top of the counter, but in the cubby by the counter, and it has no, what are these called? Drawers? No, cupboards. So it fell on the floor and it smashed because I had a glass kettle that I love dearly, but gonna get a new one, and then our coffee maker just plain old broke. That's what we're going to do today. I'm excited. I kind of want to get a fancier coffee maker because I want to get a fancier coffee maker and a not fancier kettle is the goal for tonight. So I'll probably show you those when we get home, and yeah, that's the plan for tonight. Maybe gym, but first thing on the agenda, it's currently 5:10, is reading 17 pages of this. So let's do it. welcome to Tuesday. So I have a bunch of things to vlog today, which is exciting. I got up early and I dropped Calcifer off at the vet this morning, which was so sad. It feels so weird, him not being here. Like, I've never been in the apartment when he is not in the apartment, and it just feels like a piece of my heart and life is missing. Like, I just love this cat with like all of my life, and he's really just, I'm just so grateful that I have him. Like, he's been a dream, and I love him so much. And yeah, and then I came back and I went to a yoga class, which was really good. I really needed that this morning. That was such a good class. And now I have a bunch of reading updates, and I'm actually happy to report to you that I did start reading Dombey and Son by Charles Dickens, and I got that much of the way through, and can I say I'm like pleasantly surprised. I got 35 pages through, and I was really dreading picking this up because, like I said, Dickens has been letting me down. It's been really rough to get through his books. It's been a journey, but Dombey and Son like immediately pulled me in. I've tabbed something on like almost every other page, and it's just been like quite nice actually to read. So this follows Mr. Dombey, and at the start of the book, his wife is giving birth to his son, also named Dombey, named Paul Dombey. Imagine a baby named Paul Dombey. I can't. Very bizarre. But he's named after his father, who is also Paul. Anyway, his wife dies. Mr. Dombey doesn't really care that much. He's kind of like just a bad person. He's not the best guy on the block. All he cares about is like having a son to pass on the family business. He has a daughter named Florence, who's probably like 7 or 8 years old, but he has basically discounted her from the family. He's discredited her. He's like, it doesn't matter that I have a daughter because daughters don't matter. And he only wants a son to continue carrying on the family name, line, and company, which is a shipping firm. So when his wife dies, he's like, that kind of sucks because who's gonna nurse my son now? So he employs a lady from a pretty poor family who's just had a bunch of children herself, and he basically puts her in his employ, takes her away from her family, and he calls her Mrs. Richards, even though that's not her name. Her name is Mrs. Tootle, but he doesn't like that name, and so he gives her a new one, and now she is taking care of Dombey. But her and Florence, the neglected daughter, I love Florence, I love Mrs. Tootle, they are having like a connection because clearly she has lost her children and Florence has just lost her mother, so they're like coming together. Anyway, it's really good. I already told you guys the muffin quote. The little Paul, a muffin, and it was essential to toast him brown while he was very new because he's like being sat next to the fire. I feel like Dickens is like coming back, because what I was missing in Martin Chuzzlewit and Barnaby Rudge, and even a little bit Nicholas Nickleby, was like his description and his fantasy and his glorious way of talking about people and buildings and time. So I did highlight a few quotes. I don't know. I'm gonna vlog a lot, I think, with this Dickens book because I really want to get back into Charles Dickens. I really do miss him. It's just that I think we're finally getting into like his middle work towards his and towards his later work, and I'm really happy about it. So he says, the countenance of the sun was crossed and recrossed with 1,000 little creases like the baby's face, which the same deceitful time would take delight in smoothing out and wearing away with the flat part of his scythe as a preparation of the surface for his deeper operations. Cool. That is so cool. Talking about Florence, what was a girl to Dombey and Son? In the capital of the house's name and dignity, such a child was merely a piece of base coin that couldn't be invested. A bad boy. Nothing more. If I was writing an essay, oh my god, so much theory would be coming out of there. But also we have Florence's point of view looking at her father, and this is all she sees. The child glanced keenly at the blue coat and stiff white cravat, which, with a pair of creaking boots and a very loud ticking watch, embodied her idea of a father. I don't know. It's just so good. It's so good so far. And this, like, I just feel like Dickens is back. I feel like, you know, he's back. We have this woman named Miss Talks. She is like a friend of the family, and she's just kind of this very quirky, squirrely woman, but very stereotypically like scatterbrained. But I love the way she just described, strange grasses were sometimes perceived in her hair, and it was observed by the curious of all her collars, frills, tuckers, wristbands, and other gossamer articles, indeed of everything she wore which had two ends to it intended to unite, that the two ends were never on good terms, and wouldn't quite meet without a struggle. She was much given to the carrying about of small bags with snaps to them, that went off like little pistols when they were shut. I love that. I just love it. I just really, really love it. It's putting me... I'm glad. I missed this, Dickens. I missed you. Or this, I feel like this book is actually affecting me emotionally as well, because that was something I was really having trouble with Dickens' last few novels. They just weren't pulling me in. I didn't care about the characters. I wasn't feeling emotion. I really haven't felt a great surge of emotion in Dickens since reading Great Expectations. That book really affected me, but this book I'm already like, I just want to save Florence and Mrs. Tootle, and I think Mr. Dombey is a really interesting character as well, and we've had a number of other people introduced that I'm like, okay, things are happening here. But just like talking about the passing away of Florence's mother, the mother drifted out upon the dark and unknown sea that rolls round all the world. Dang! I'm on page 35. I'm using a koala bookmark that came all the way from Australia. Thank you so much to the lovely subscriber who sent me this. It's so gorgeous. But yeah, so the goal is to read like 17 pages a day, and I already read mine this morning and last night, so that is my update on Dombey and Son. I'm very happy to give you this update. And then I also have been listening a lot to Cleopatra this morning and last night, so I'm now 82 pages through. It's still really, really good. We've just finished the section with the, I guess the Egyptian civil war being fought between Cleopatra with Caesar against Cleopatra's brother Ptolemy and his, I guess his army, that's questionable, but yeah, and now we have Caesar and Cleopatra just chilling because the Egyptian civil war ended in March, but Caesar didn't go back home to Rome until July. So, what are you doing, Caesar? Really, really good so far. Highly recommend. Really hooked. Really, really enjoying it. It's a lovely listening experience. And then this book is kind of killing me, Heaven and Hell. This is the last book I'm currently reading. I got to page 122. Also love this bookmark. But, it hurts. It hurts so bad. It hurts so bad because the tragedy at sea has occurred on their fishing boat, and now we're following our unnamed boy, he's very young, who is trying to return a book. It's a very famous book back to an old sea captain who has an extensive library in Iceland. And this whole first page is glorious. We live at the bottom of a bowl. The day passes, turns to evening. It is filled with the serenity of darkness, and then the stars kindle. They glitter eternally above us as if they have an urgent message. But what message, and from whom? What do they want from us? Or perhaps more importantly, what do we want from them? There is little left of us resembling light. We stand much closer to darkness, our nearly darkness. All that we have left are memories and the hope that has nevertheless faded, continues to fade, and soon resembles an extinguished star, a dark chunk of stone. Yet we know a little about life and a little about death and can tell of it. We come all this way to touch you and to affect destiny. Like little things, the writing is so exquisite in here. It's like so different to any writing I've really read. It's like really interestingly written and just gorgeous. There's hardly anything as beautiful as the sea on good days or clear nights when it dreams and the gleam of the moon is its dream. Anyway, really, really loving this. This is gonna be 5 stars. It's just like, it's sad. It is sad, and it's like really affecting me, but I am loving Heaven and Hell. So that is everything I'm reading. The plan for today is just work on YouTube stuff. I have to go back and pick up Calcifer probably tonight around like 5 o'clock when they give me a call, when he wakes up from the anesthesia, and then I have to get everything like just Calcifer proofed around the apartment. It pretty much already is because like he's, like I said, not supposed to run or jump. But I also need to do some schoolwork, and I also need to schedule a video for tomorrow and do some emails, and I kind of want to start planning my family's Christmas presents, and I already bought a few actually. Maybe I'll show you because I can just, yeah, I'll show you later. But right now I'm gonna charge my camera. It's just like, I don't want to be witnessed. I have a YouTube channel. It's okay. Hoodie Emma can't hurt you. Sometimes I just want to be untethered from my identity. Can we chat like this? I hope this is okay. Is this weird? I really was craving egg mode. Good evening. It's like 7:30. Daylight savings. Yeah, daylight savings. What daylight does it save? Because, like, it gets darker now, so. Daylight savings was a couple days ago, and I am hating everything about it. It now gets dark so early, and I am already upsetty spaghetti. Trying to just channel that into cozy reading nights. It's not really working that well, but I did finish a book today. I finished Heaven and Hell, and dang it, it wasn't a full 5 stars. I ended up not being able to, like, in good conscience, give this full 5 stars because I could tell in my heart of hearts that it wasn't a true 5 star. Heaven and Hell, I gave it 4.5 stars because it was like this close. I just feel like the ending and the way that it was wrapped up and different narrative voices, the way this book just kind of like ended, and I was like, okay. It's not that I didn't get any closure, because there was closure. This book is, among other things, about a young boy dealing with a huge amount of grief, but it's also about a community and a country, especially during the time set in the late 19th century. Yes, no, set at the turn. Okay, no, it is set at the turn of the 20th century. Yes, kind of about people losing people, mostly to the ocean, like by drowning, because a lot of the people in Iceland at this time were obviously fishermen. That's how they were making their living, and none of them really knew how to swim, so that wasn't a good recipe. But it's not that the grief and his exploration of an experience of grief didn't give me closure. Is there ever any closure for grief? No. That's a wound you always keep open, and you nurse it and you take care of it. Like Rilke says, you respect the abyss inside of you. This is why I don't film. This is why I don't film when the sun goes down. And editing, Emma in the morning has to edit it and be like, what were you actually saying? I wanted a lot more from the narrative voices in here, because I think that this book, it does pretty much tell you that this book, the speaker, the one who's telling the story, is basically like a multitude of voices from different people who have passed on. They've died, but they haven't really moved on. Like, they're still in the world of the living, but they're not alive. And their mission is to tell you a story. But there's still a lot of quotes that I have to tell you. It's just like little things that made this book really special. Just little moments of description sprinkled in here and there. Like the stars, they twinkle with their age-old news, their thousands of years old light. It's just really beautiful, sweet little stuff like that can elevate a book to something amazing. It's also dealing a lot with books and language and poetry and what value they have in our lives. This one, someone's reading a poem. His lips move, he reads the lines again and again, and each time the world inside him becomes a bit larger, expands. Yes, that's exactly how I feel reading a book. Sometimes you can just feel it widening your chest cavity, and it's just the best feeling ever to feel a book shift into your bones, or to feel a new sentiment gain some validation, or just be told to you in a really beautiful way. It's possible to send words out like rescue teams when the days are difficult and we are perhaps neither living nor dead. Or like someone reading poetry. Something ancient and dark awakens in him. This is a primitive force, a language with deep roots in a dim subconscious, sprung from a harsh life and ever-present death. He grows burning hot, and he rocks rhythmically. The rhyming words become so heavy that it is difficult for the human body to handle them. Because the human body is delicate, it cannot bear the impact of large rocks, cannot bear avalanches, the stinging cold, cannot endure loneliness, cannot endure rhyming words heavy with antiquity. Yeah, okay, maybe one of the last ones I'll leave you with. This is when the person has died and the boy is experiencing that. He's never named. Memories and thoughts no longer sparkle within the skull. He's talking about the human body and how it ceases to be amazing and turns into something for which we would prefer not to have to find words. Best let science do that. And then the ground. Okay, no, this is the last one. This is the last one because I just really love this. There's nothing to see in Iceland except mountains, waterfalls, tussocks, and this light that can pass through you and turn you into a poet. Okay, so 4.5 stars. Very close to 5, I will say. Highly, highly recommend this bad boy. And yeah, because I finished Heaven and Hell, I did pick Game of Thrones back up. And I'm feeling very cozy, feeling in a good reading mood. Probably gonna read a lot tonight. I got to page 500. Someone just ate a horse heart. If you know, you know. This is a reread for me. I'm very excited to keep reading this, and now on Eddard's chapter. And I think I have about 300 pages left. So I would really like to finish this, but I might pick up something else. At the same time, because like I am slowly getting back into the mood for this. I don't have any plans for tonight, so what else is new? When do I ever have plans? Oh, Kelsifer! I didn't even tell you about Kelsifer. Well, you probably already saw him, but he's doing really well. The surgery went perfectly. He's perfect. He's doing really, really good. That is the update, and I'm so glad that's the update because he's doing amazing. So everything is going well. Egg Emma is gonna go now because this is gonna exist on the internet forever. Still looking like an egg. I'm back. It's the weekend. I have some hefty reading updates. Haven't done a spectacular amount of things today, but I did try. I really like this place. Before moving to Toronto, I'd never heard of it. It's called I'm Perfect. It's just like a healthy, no, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like fresh or freshy. It has a lot of like smoothies and bowls and stuff like that, but it's one of my favorite restaurants that I've tried since coming to Toronto because they didn't have this in my hometown. I tried their smoothie, which is sweet potato, banana, cinnamon, and I wasn't sure if I was really gonna like it, but it's like the perfect fall smoothie. It kind of just tastes like apple cider, even though there's no apples in it. I'm not really a fan of sweet potato at all, but that's really good. So anyway, here are the reading updates. I'm really happy about all of them. Dombey and Son. You guys were right. I'm so happy to tell you that I'm still liking it, still having a good time with it. I got to page 88 and I do need to read a little bit more today. I have to read another 17 pages. That's why I've been getting through it, just reading 17 pages a day, but it's still really good and I'm still really liking it. I thought what was totally gonna happen was gonna be like a switcheroo of the babies, like a classic baby switch, because it was kind of foreshadowed a little bit by Mr. Dombey because he was like worrying about that like someone was gonna switch his baby out, specifically Mrs. Tootle, who is the caretaker and wet nurse of Paul, the child. I feel like that still could happen. I don't know. Anyway, what's kind of happening now is we're learning more about Florence. She was just randomly kidnapped by this woman on the street because Mrs. Tootle decided to go home to her neighborhood to see her family. There were some really great descriptions, even though I don't think she's really allowed to do that, which is messed up. I've had some really cool other characters introduced. We have this man who runs like almost not really a curiosity shop, but the old curiosity shop. If you're curious about the old curiosity shop, skip it. He is kind of like an old sea captain and he runs this like nautical dream shop. The shop itself partaking of the general infection of like ship parts, like clocks and all this maritime-y nautical nonsense, seemed almost to become a snug sea-going ship-shape concern, wanting only good sea room in the event of an unexpected launch to work its way securely to any desert island in the world. Dickens and his damn buildings and his damn rooms. It's just like, that's how I want to write as a writer. And I actually have started writing a little bit, just like getting back into creative writing, getting some ideas out, and like Dickens is really just such a huge inspiration for writing rooms and giving whole characters to buildings and to different pieces of furniture even. Like that's one of the things I like keep saying and I have been saying for years. So I just love how he speaks about furniture and inanimate objects and like what people bestow upon the houses they live in, or like that whole theme. And then the owner of the shop, his name is Solomon. He has a son, no, he has a niece, no, crap, nephew named Walter, and Walter works at Dombey and Son, the company. But Uncle Solomon is very old, and he said, "I'm an old-fashioned man in an old-fashioned shop in a street that is not the same as I remember it. I have fallen behind the time and am too old to catch it again. Even the noise it makes a long way ahead confuses me. I love Solomon. I love Solomon so much. Like, I'm just so happy that I'm having such a reaction to this book and being like, these are characters I'm invested in. These are characters I love or love to hate again. Yeah, I just love the way that he characterizes people as well. Like Mr. Dombey, he does have a library, but the way that it's described, you just know exactly what kind of person he is, because the books precisely matched as to size and drawn up in line like soldiers looked in their cold, hard, slippery uniforms as if they had but one idea among them, and that was a freezer. What excellent boiled potatoes. This one I laughed out loud. I think it was so funny. They're taking little Paul, the baby, Paul Dombey, to his christening at the church, and the church is so desolate. Dickens describes it with like so much deceasedness in his writing. Like, it's just the most miserable place to be, is this poor church. And the Beatles like, please to bring the child in quick out of the air. And then he writes, little Paul might have asked with Hamlet, into my grave? So chill and earthy was the place. Getting taken in to be christened, and he's like, into my grave. The last page, I highlighted so much of this. This is Mrs. Toodle's neighborhood, who's been renamed Mrs. Richards by Dombey. And her neighborhood is, of course, very poor, but the other thing we just learned was that there was a great earthquake there. There is a star here. I actually want to know what earthquake this is. It doesn't tell me. But it says, houses were knocked down, streets broken through, everywhere were bridges that led nowhere, thoroughfares that were wholly impassable, Babel towers of chimneys, wanting half their height, temporary wooden houses and enclosures. There were 100,000 shapes and substances of incompleteness, wildly mingled out of their places, upside down, burrowing in the earth, aspiring in the air, mouldering in the water, and unintelligible as any dream. Wow. I feel like not only does it symbolize so much of like the possibility that these people have in their lives, but also it's so beautifully written, but then through it all, really just like infuriatingly. In short, the yet unfinished and unopened railroad was in progress, and from the very core of all this dire disorder trailed smoothly away upon its mighty course of civilization and improvement. Just the fact that these people have to like probably work some of them themselves on the railroad, like Mr. Tootle does, who is the husband of Mrs. Tootle. And this is getting built obviously for people who can take the train, or you know, whatever kind of train it is, and then it's just going through their absolutely demolished neighborhood that no one is rebuilding, and this is where they live and what they have to look at. And yeah, I don't know, this book is just really affecting me. I'm really liking it. Yeah, there's actually a lot of commentary as well. Like, I can feel how angry Dickens is that Florence, the daughter, is getting so neglected and basically treated like she doesn't even exist, and the baby, who is literally a couple of months old, is getting treated like he is the Prince of England. The other night I also sat down and read so much of A Game of Thrones. The thing with this is that every time I read it, I'm like, okay, Emma, don't get so attached. Like, it's just a book. It's just a piece of fiction. You don't have to get so angry. You don't have to get so invested. Because like, this book just makes you feel so upset for certain people. What I have to say is, reading this again, not for Ned Stark. I honestly, like, he has it coming. I don't care how good of a person he is. He is so stupid. He's so stupid. He's the stupidest, one of the stupidest people in this book. I don't know. Just reading it over, I'm like, you could have stopped so many things. You could have changed so many things, but your morals just like suffocate you, and it's just really funny watching Peter Baelish like walk all over him, and then eventually what ends up coming to him, like, not that he deserves it, but like he did bring it upon himself. So I got 574 pages through because I would just got in such a reading mood with this, and I was having such a good time. We're at the point now in the first book where everything has just gone totally off the rails, and it's really hard not to feel those feelings towards it, because like watching the show and reading the book, I would just get, I think everyone did, they just got so into it that like it's so affecting, and reading it, it's so hard not to be like, oh my gosh, like my emotions are all over the page. And yeah, so I'm currently on Bran's chapter, so I kind of want to finish this really soon, and then the audiobook, I do have good things to say again. So happy with everything I'm reading. I got to page 132, so a lot is happening. Cleopatra is now in Rome. Just good things all around. I'm gonna listen to a little bit more of this tonight. We're actually gonna be seeing this vlog tomorrow, so I think I'm gonna read my pages of Dickens, and then I do have an essay I need to work on, so I'm gonna do that tonight, and then maybe I'll go to the gym. Last night I did 2 back-to-back yoga classes, one after the other, and that was actually really good. I really liked that. I liked having like 2 hours of yoga. It was really nice. I'm so jealous. In my hometown it is snowing right now, and I just want it to snow here so badly, but like when I went out today to run some errands, I was wearing biker shorts, so pretty upset about that. I'm not gonna lie. I wish it was snowing, but I hope wherever you are, you're having a really good night, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching these vlogs. I'm really excited to just make a ton more. I will see you in the next one for sure, so until then, ciao.